Ahoy there, and welcome to Versus. Today we're taking to the high seas, two that are big, bold, and white gold from brands with authentic nautical heritage. It's the Versus debut of Ulysse Nardin, Rolex Submariner versus Maxi Marine Diver. Versus starts now. In 1996, Ulysse Nardin recast its historic navigation clocks, the marine chronometers, as a wristwatch. For 2003, UN went larger and deeper with the dive-worthy Maxi Marine Diver. Today's Maxi Marine Diver limited edition is part of a 2006 special series of 500, but thanks to a special order that saw the standard hybrid strap swapped for a full white gold bracelet, game on, Rolex! UN watches seem to fall into three categories: ego extensions for Gazprom billionaires, outrageously sophisticated complications, and less costly bedrock models that pay the bills. This watch feels like the most discreet of the first group, or perhaps the most richly endowed of the third. Regardless, UN's team deserves immense credit for designing a dive watch, the most plagiarized and iterated class of luxury timepiece, and doing so without borrowing anything distinctive from Rolex or Blancpain, the pioneers in the space. You can buy watches that look like the Sub for 100 reward tickets at Chuck E. Cheese. The UN's deck clock turned dive watch case profile remains the most exclusive preserve of UN, more than 15 years after its launch. Case lines are substantial but studied. The lugs are shockingly short at just 46 millimeters across the wrist, and the 13.7 millimeter thickness is so counterintuitive that I checked it with two calipers. Make no mistake, this thing is sneaky compact despite colossal wrist presence. Most folks would guess it's a 45, not a sub 43 millimeter case. The concave profiles of lug and caseband break dramatically from dive watch conventions. Along with the bolted number plaque, these are the elements of individuality that are the product of UN's inspired mining of its own history rather than the industry norm of imitating Rolex divers. UN surrenders 100 meters of its usual marine diver depth rating to fit a display caseback, and I approve. On the wrist, the UN's short but stout case evokes gravitational singularities, or the most massive of platinum watches, and this is in white gold. This example's special order bracelet contributes mightily to the impression of juggernaut wrist presence, even with eyes closed, and the special pleasure that watch enthusiasts derive from it. With a special order bracelet priced deep into the five-figure range by itself, the watch bracelet combo seen here might be unique among the 500 pieces from this special edition. UN's bracelet isn't dive specific, so the double deployment clasp employs a simple friction closure. Ulysse Nardin blesses its bruiser with a dial that only the coldest heart couldn't love. Rich, lustrous, three-dimensional, and quirky in its layout, the marine chronometer-inspired face of this Maxi Marine Diver proves that UN stuck to its script on the inside, too. The dial base features a subtle checkered motif stamped beneath a sea of translucent blue lacquer. The applied indices stand proud atop lacquer so thick the dial furniture appears to float in space, and at certain angles even seems to cast a shadow. Loom slays. Oversized indices pay dividends night or day. Colors, quirky deck clock arrangements of subdials, sneaky symmetry, and graceful skeleton hands complete a composition so endearing that it leaves the normally lush Rolex looking staid by comparison. UN's power reserve and small seconds acknowledge its shipboard heritage without compromising dive function in any way. The inverted date magnifier at 6 o'clock will elicit a cheer from detractors of Rolex's tumor-like Cyclops eye. UN's bezel features the same bewitching blue lacquer as the dial, and this time, the underlying surface is a nautical wave theme. Bezel knurling is easier to grip than the Subs, and bezel action is chunky but precise. When I speak of the complexity that accompanies customer caliber use, the Ulysse Nardin Caliber 26 springs to mind. The automatic winding ETA-based mechanism highlights why not every customer caliber is created equal, and this one stands at the head of the class. The base is a COSC chronometer-certified ETA 2892A2 of the highest spec available. Finish is delivered in top spec from ETA. Atop the 21-joule base movement, UN constructs its own 7-joule small seconds and power reserve module. A custom-engraved 22-karat white gold winding mass is added by UN. UN then regulates and tests the fully cased watch to ensure it truly delivers on the promise of a purported marine chronometer. Rolex's caliber might be slightly tougher, but even with its manufacturer pedigree, I find the Rolex 3135 less interesting, not to mention less visible, than the UN 26. Can you believe it's been a decade since this, the first ceramic bezel sub, landed at Basel? 2008's 18-karat white gold Submariner was the first of its kind in series production, the first Submariner with a ceramic bezel insert, and the first generation of sub to rock the bracelet, clasp, and case profile changes introduced first on 2005's anniversary GMT Master 2. 40mm has been the official measurement of every modern-era Submariner since Rolex's miracle year of 1988. While technically the same size as the old 5-digit, a 6-digit sub in gold feels as massive as a steel sea dweller. Across the wrist, the true measurement of the watch for 99.9% of buyers is going to be the sub's end-link stance, so take note, this one is about a size or two larger than its nominal 40. Think of it as a 42. Now, since collector accessory straps haven't been a major thing on subs since lug holes vanished in 2003, most will wear the watch on this solid end-link bracelet with its necessary extensions across the wrist. But at 12.2mm thick, this slim sub surprises. Rolex blends its own alloys, owns a foundry, and stamps, never machines its cases in-house. Technically, this white gold sub is what industry types called gray gold. It's a homogeneous 18-karat white gold that never needs rhodium plating. Regular white gold, in comparison, does need to be plated. A screw-down triplock crown with white gold dot signature and oyster screwed-in caseback permit 300-meter water resistance. The blue sub's bracelet breaks with its full satin steel counterpart thanks to polished center links and clasp. More yachtmaster than sub, this flamboyant flourish comes with no compromise in toughness or ergonomics. And modern Rolex is a genius for bracelet design, and these links aerate while providing protection against pinches and pulls on the wrist. The clasp feels as solid as Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares. A clamshell lock fits flush with the clasp body on both the top and the flanks. Rolex Glide Lock offers 20mm of tool-free adjustment in 2mm increments. It's like being able to add or subtract 4 full removable links, and those removable links, by the way, are fixed by screws. Albino gold and ceramic bezel stand aside. This Submariner is all about its dial. This blue lacquer dial is rich, lustrous, hypnotic, and yes, it is responsible for the white gold sub's silly nickname. Launched with this model, the gloss blue was shared with the two-tone sub from 2009 to 2012, but today you need to buy a full yellow or white gold sub to swim with the Smurfs. I mean sharks. Sharks. Today, blue watches amount to an insufferable cliche on par with break the internet. But give Rolex credit for launching its blue streak ages ago in an era when the bromide of the moment was too big to fail. That distinctive blue Rolex Chromolite lume is present in force on the dial by night, but the bezel features only the sapphire-capped luminescent pearl. It's barely adequate by modern dive watch standards. The Cyclops eye is present and polarizing as ever. You love it or you hate it. Next. Rolex's perfect color and tone match between the Cerachrom bezel and this blue gloss dial stands as the dominant hook of the blue sub's look. In person, the dial and bezel seem to blur together, and the effect is a more imposing watch face. The bezel itself features a deep circumference with knurled edges for grip. The ceramic is scratch-resistant, unique to this model, and filled with platinum deposits. Its action feels refined and redolent of money spent in pursuit of perfection. Rolex fits its tried-and-true manufacture caliber 3135 to the Submariner. This movement has been with us since 1988, and to be perfectly honest, it's a triumph of incremental upgrades over meaningful innovation. UN Maxi Marine Diver Limited Edition Advantages. Unrepentantly individualist, it's a rare original effort in the dive watch category. Even more impressive, the Maxi Marine Diver is as recognizably Ulysse Nardin as the sub is redolent of Rolex brand character. Shockingly substantial and richly detailed, this one's $51,000 watch is available now for half the price of a new blue sub, and if you buy them both pre-owned, the UN is $7,000 less, even on the bracelet, than a pre-owned blue sub. The precision of an ETA chronometer, the technical interest of a manufacturer complication module, and a display case back to enjoy it all. A fun and versatile UN factory strap and clasp accessory increases diving potential and is only one phone call away. Rolex, aftermarket straps only. More than distinctive, the UN dial and bezel simply are more beautiful than their Rolex counterparts. Rolex Submariner Advantages. A dramatically slimmer case, a more elegant lug profile, and a watch that will never threaten a low cuff. This is a real dive clasp with a locking closure and a dive extension. For desk divers, Glide Lock allows incremental adjustments too. The ceramic bezel insert won't scuff, scratch, or degrade the way the UN's admittedly more beautiful lacquer cap eventually will. Although the UN's bezel is easier to grip and chunkier of detent, the Rolex unit has a surgical precision that's almost intoxicating. The Rolex is an inherently conspicuous brand. This is a stealthy way to wear a gold Rolex, and it's not the extrovert that the Maxi Marine Diver is. Too much is never enough where luxury watch water resistance is concerned, and the Rolex's 300 meters beats the UN's 200 meters every time. The Rolex is still available new, and it comes with a 5-year warranty when it is. My choice. Both of these watches can win this matchup on different days with different collectors as the judges. The UN takes the fight to Rolex with originality, authentic brand character, a fascinating hybrid customer in-house caliber, and a value proposition that leaves the Rolex looking sheepish. I respect the collector who might choose the Smurf killer. My tastes run towards elegance, refinement, toughness, and purpose. Even in the twilight of its production life, the current generation of Sub-C still flexes its muscles, and it's my champion of this match.